Hi, good evening. My name is Estelle. I will be presenting on the topic should skyscrapers be built near historically significant cultural heritage sites? This topic lies at the sharp intersection where two essential values, cultural heritage preservation and urban development, come into conflict. My presentation will first examine why this has become an issue. Looking at a domestic case study, then we will compare the pro-development and composition arguments. And finally, I will conclude based on my three core rationales for why I disagree with the construction of skyscrapers. First, let's briefly look at international examples where skyscrapers and heritage sites coexist. High-rising buildings already stand near New York's Grand Central Terminal, Tokyo Imperial Palace, and the Tower of London in London. These cases sometimes suggest the possibility of a harmony between development and preservation. However, the domestic situation is highly complex. The issue came to the forefront recently when Seoul City proposed constructing a 36-story skyscraper next to the cultural heritage site Jongmyo Shrine, sparking controversy in Korean society. This development involves the Seoul 4 area. Regarding this development, nearby merchants and residents are generally positive from a commercial perspective, believing the development will increase foot traffic, which will help boost sales. Conversely, the Cultural Heritage Administration argues that the building will harm the landscape and cast shadows on the heritage site. Public opinion holds the Jongmyo's appeal lies in its solemn atmosphere, which would be damaged if skyscrapers dominate the background. The pro-development arguments are summarized into four main points. First, they emphasize economic revitalization and regional development effect by securing foot traffic, attracting tourists, and developing surrounding infrastructure. Second, they advocate for the guarantee of private property rights by easing restrictions on private rights, arguing the heritage regulations are too restrictive. Finally, they propose the possibility of design harmony, citing the feasibility of coexistence and the availability of technology to prevent heritage damage. Essentially, they prioritize the development efficiency and economic benefit. Despite these pro-development arguments, I oppose the construction of skyscrapers near cultural heritage sites. My opposition is based on three core rationales: damage of heritage site scenery, threat to structure safety, and the national of cultural heritage as a public good. So the first is irreversible degradation of heritage value. Skyscrapers visually overwhelmed and destroy the unique identity and harmony of the heritage site with its surroundings. The grandeur of Jongmyo, for instance, will be visually overwhelmed as the building dominates the background. This act can be considered as a destruction of the historical context. Furthermore, for World Heritage Sites, changes in the surrounding environment risk delisting, which could lead to international embarrassment. Second, the fatal threat to heritage structure safety. Construction factors arising from building a skyscraper can structurally damage the cultural heritage site. Impacts such as vibration, change in groundwater flow, and ground subsidence during construction can cause a fatal damage to century-old heritage structure. Once cracked or deformed, complete restoration is difficult. We cannot sacrifice permanent preservation for short-term profit. The process moves from construction to weakening of ground, leading to irrecoverable loss. The third, the nature of cultural heritage as a public good. Cultural heritage is not merely a tool for the private gain derived from economic interest. It is a precious value that must be shared with future generations. Therefore, the public interest of permanent preservation must take precedence over private profit. We must protect the environment so that everyone can feel the historical grandeur and solemnity. In conclusion, I disagree with building skyscrapers around the cultural heritage. Skyscrapers visually overwhelm and destroy the unique identity and historical context of cultural heritage sites, leading to the irreversible degradation of their value. Large-scale construction poses a fatal threat to the physical structure and safety of century-old heritage sites. Cultural heritage is a public good that requires the public interest of permanent preservation to take precedence over private development profits. Thank you for listening.